Hello and welcome to episode number 32 of this playthrough of The Witness. In the last episode we found this underground area that is below the mountain, and we solved these panels on the side with this particularly difficult puzzle at the end. Difficult because I made a mistake in my Inkscape document, but we're going to go in fresh today and see if we can find something. Let's head up the stairs here. Here we have quite a varied range of puzzles here. Let's start with this one on the floor. So we have black and white squares, we have white top left, bottom right. We have two stars that we also need to combine and put in one area. Now I think I can do that like this. Put the stars in with the black squares. Because the black can be in with the orange if they're not squares, and the stars can be in with the black if they are not stars of the same color. Okay, another one of these Tetris pieces. Okay, my initial idea is that this piece we could fit there, and then the one that we have in the corner we put here. Then this one we could do here, and this one we could put here. Although no, this would overlap then. How about... no, that's not possible. Not quite. Close, but no cigar. These two you could potentially overlap, or rather like this. But then you miss the piece here. Okay, so initially what I'm seeing is that if you have a piece that is cut out like that, it's pretty much impossible to have that by itself, because you can never cut back to the left in order to get this side cut off, because here you would cross a path for this corner and for this corner. So both of these need to have that thing in the middle filled in. Now I want to create as much width as I can. I go 5 wide here. We need to also reach this one, and potentially we could leave this one by itself. Although this here with this break in the path makes it quite difficult, but perhaps I can put this one here and then see if that brings us any closer. Yeah, I think I see it. Have this. Now how do I cut that out? Go here. Like this. So the L piece is in the left corner, top left. Then we have these two lying horizontal, one going like this, and the other going like this, and they overlap so that they form a 2x3 grid. And then that little one is in the bottom over here. Okay, what do we have here? Start point here, end point there. Okay, so I see these are all, so where the board is still blue, you can see that all of these on the left side are yellow. And that here all of these are magenta, or cyan rather, a light blue. So I wonder if it is as simple as just sectioning off anything that's more or less pinkish. No, we can. Okay, no. I think we have a clear indication actually for the colors, because there's diagonal lines, and you can see that as an example on this line, the background color is orange for all of them. However, in that orange, this one is colored magenta and this one is colored magenta, so this one must be cyan. However, this here is a yellow square which colors cyan on this orange background, so this one must also be yellow. And if we keep that same reasoning, anything that's dark pink here would also be the dark pink here. Same for the blue, so these are both yellow. But then what would these do? Okay, so this one is yellow. and this one is yellow. These are quite distinct as well. I'm trying to see how these evolve when you go further. So green and magenta are opposite colors. Over here, cyan and orange or cyan and red are also opposite colors. Yellow and blue, opposite colors. But then if we look at the cyan or originally cyan ones, they're always only one step away. So cyan and purple share red. Red and magenta are also next to each other on the color gradient. Then yellow and what's this? Also perhaps magenta. What do they share? Red or something. And then as soon as we go to green or to a yellow, we go more red, green and yellow. So I think all of these have to be together. So this one, the purple and yellow, or purple green, are more or less opposite as well. Okay, I'll take a screenshot, go for paint. And let's use some logic. So on this diagonal, this must be cyan like the blocks in the bottom. That means that these are a different color. Let me do a thicker line. So this one must be cut off. Same on the next diagonal. This one must be cut off. also this, because this one is a yellow square. Then here, this seems to be also a cyan square, and the next two here seem like they are yellow, fitting this same color. So here, here, and here must also be a line. Then this is a yellow, and this is a blue square, so also here we must have a line. This blue is the same as it is over there, so it's actually a yellow square, so there must be also a line here. We know that these are different colors, and if we are to come there, we could come to it from the top, maybe. Then on this diagonal we have red, and this yellow seems more likely to be part of these bottom ones. Just looking at how the color curve evolves. Go from this is a different one, so purple, a lighter purple, to magenta, to a kind of pink, to red, or orangish red, then yellowish orange, yellow, and then these don't fit that pattern anymore. So I think that this is also a separate section, and that these are all part of the cyan blocks. But then again, here, this does not fit that pattern anymore, and neither does this thing above. So it could be here or cutting over, but that doesn't really make any difference. Better to not cut over so that you can cut through there later, perhaps. Then also these are clearly not the same. If we look diagonal, the cyan that we have here is that same cyan that we have at the top. Same on the right side. That doesn't fit. So, and also we need to cut from here to here, so I think this is a continuous line. Probably we cut at the top. Could do something like this. And go to the top. Okay, let's test it out. So we go here, over, around, to the right, over, and there. Okay, logic has been achieved. Yes, yes. Great. Okay. think this is a pretty easy one. So the two stars can be in the same area as other color if they're not stars, or no, they can even be stars, but the squares only have a rule that they cannot be in the same area as another colored square, not another colored star. But I put this little pink or magenta square in with the greens, and that's the error that I correct. So that's more or less like puzzles we've seen in the mangrove area as well. Okay, so we came from up here. Let's have a look if we can line that thing up yet, but I can't. But looks like we'll need to be more on the left side, like there, to see that, if it is a puzzle, of course. But it definitely looked like it. Then in order to advance, it looks like we need to go this way. Let's have a look around. Maybe there are audio recordings or something here hidden on these fences or planks. Could be just planks. But the way they look, they reminded me a little bit of those fences that we saw in the maze. That's why I said fences, but it looks like just stacks of lumber. Okay, that goes further. So nothing I can really see in this room. So let's just solve our puzzles. Okay, 2 start points to end points. Is this a mirrored one? Or is it one I can pick? Let's test if it is mirrored. Let's go 2 to the side. And then here it's not intersecting. Okay, so it's not an invisible mirror. Now, my question would be, is this thing in the middle part of, is that a block or is that not a block? If you can take that into account, it's not super difficult, I think. At least I can see a solution like this then. Although no, hang on. Or at least I thought I saw a solution. Okay, so if I put that one there, these here, and this one here, okay. Ominous boing. Is it gonna be like all of them need to have the same solution or something, or is it more easy than that? Nothing changed over there, okay. Ah, I see. Could be here or here. So there's this 3-piece that I put in the middle, and then the one makes a 4 long line. And then we just separate the white squares from each other. We can do something similar here with 3 in a row being behind this pillar and underneath. Okay, now we have other starting and end points, or at least end points in corner. So if I want to go there, huh? Oh, okay. I thought this one was also slanted like this one, so you could put it in any orientation, but it has to be in this orientation. Okay, but I can do something similar then, I think. That one, put all of those in its own section. Okay, I see multiple solutions, but this will work. More stairs leading up. And then we seem to have a split in the path. We can go up. Oh, we can also go left, and we can go forward. Let's go forward first. Why is this here? Why is this here? Yeah. Nothing is done on accident in this game, so what the hell is going on? Am I supposed to see a puzzle? Or like an environment puzzle? Clicking around a bit. I don't see any rounded shape necessarily. The ladder, no. Maybe this is something for speedruns or something that you can activate that panel that is far away there. Okay. This little nook. I'm gonna take a screenshot because it puzzles me. But if I look the other way, it's so dark. It's hard to see. Is my lighting on my screen is pretty high. Okay, up or down. Let's have just a quick look what's here. Okay, more panels, to be expected. And does this do anything for what I believe? Oh, yeah. I know where the gate there is. We were on the outside of it, that's in the Tetris area. And I then said, like, this must be an endpoint for a puzzle, but from the other side. This here, this cave, is definitely on the other side. Make sure I remember that. Puzzles here. Is this a dead end? Looks very dark. Could be a dead end. I'll solve these first then. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we definitely need to go through these. Left and up. Definitely need to go through this and this. Okay. Here, here, and here. Now we start in the middle. And we have to end up on the right. Oh, no. Okay, so trying to look where I could go. If I go here, I need to go there, and then there's no way to ever get past this path because I can't go up and left. So I can only cross this corner this way. Huh. This looks very easy, but no, same problem. Deceptively easy. Okay, reasoning one. We can go, if I go right, I can go up, but then I could have gone up anyway. Doesn't make a difference. Going right screws me over. Or no, it doesn't. Okay, never mind. Anyway, it's it's solved. Let's look around. Any audio recordings here? Yes, yes, yes. That is so well hidden.
It's just the new teapot beeping. It boils fast, but that beep bothers me. Moving on?
So, next I want to raise this problem, which is that I think we don't have enough smart representation from materialist atheists, physicalists, anything in that neighborhood of ideas. And I've been trying to do something about that, but it's hard. The problem is that most coherent atheists' creeds are focused on defeating some specific idea of God, or are angry about the historical activities of organized religions rather than, say, from first principles, making a good case for the impossibility of any concept of God, which would be more like what we're after.
I'm having the same problem. So many justifications of atheism devolve into assertions of the implausibility of Bible stories. Someone like Bertrand Russell, a very advanced thinker, but his commentary on religion all seems to be like Why I Am Not a Christian. Very limited in scope. It is way too small compared to the vision of God and the pieces we're juxtaposing.
Can you repeat that last part? You kind of just dropped out a little bit.
Oh, just that it's a very provincial idea of God that's usually advanced in those arguments. Sometimes even a straw man God. And it doesn't have much in common with the God visualized by Cusa or Spinoza or the great Sufis or even Einstein. Whoever. So it just doesn't play on the same field.
When people are explicitly pushing materialism, they're usually philosophers or writers, not physicists, not people who actually do the frontline work of understanding the physical world. With the heavy hitters in physics, it's very hard. It's hard to find good statements that aren't just arguing against straw men. And it's strange because in the modern age, a reasonable portion of working physicists are atheists. Not all by any means, but a reasonable portion. But it's hard to get strong and articulate statements from that sector.
Yeah. I mean, the closest you get is somebody like Feynman, where science gives us a great degree of certainty about certain things. But outside those, it's not a good idea to tell ourselves nice stories and speculate. It's just best to realize we don't know yet about the bigger questions, etc. But we have a lot of Feynman already. Ooh, Paul Dirac was at least a staunch atheist at one point in his life, but I don't know if he has direct statements on record. Keep an eye out.
Dirac was far from a materialist, though. He believed the universe is made out of math. That's an oversimplification, of course. He even mentioned God a few times in an Einstein kind of way.
Well, this is all so crazy because among scientifically educated people, it's the cultural default, right? If you're a scientist or a computer programmer kind of person, atheist materialism is supposed to be the basic belief. If you're not a materialist, you're stupid. But if we can't find anyone who makes a good case for it, how does that happen?
Well, it's easy to be convinced of the absurdity of stories in common Christianity, Judaism, whatever. So, if that's your picture of spiritual beliefs and you have an aversion to digging too hard into your own worldview, which most of us do, then there you go. Anything that seems religious is goofy Bible stories, and materialism is anti-religious. And it's the general impression that smart people are materialists, and hey, I want to be smart, so case closed.
Also, there are all these so-called spiritual people who believe basically anything and try to convince everyone.
In addition to goofy Bible stories, did I forget to mention ghost stories, astrologers, spoonbenders, and all kinds of frauds?
It's a ton of noise. It makes it almost impossible for an outsider looking in to see high-quality thought in the world of spirituality. If I can even generalize spirituality to one thing. So it's easy, if you're already leaning toward materialism, to see these flaky spiritual people, extrapolate that to all spiritual people, and say all that stuff is garbage.
That's how it worked for me. For a while.
Okay, but despite all this, there's a large contingent of present-day real scientists who believe in some form of atheist materialism and whose beliefs have been carefully considered. So we need to ensure we respect that viewpoint.
It's
I
so
remember
frustrating.
That. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Carl Sagan has a good piece in Demon Haunted World, where he talks about science as a profound source of spirituality. But he doesn't mean mystical spirituality. He means this pure dedication to truth and the development of a wise perspective on our place in the world. It's nice, and it's a picture of atheism that isn't hostile or contemptuous.
Yeah, I read that, and what you're talking about is a beautiful piece, and I tried to get it, but Sagan's people want too much money.
Can't we just pay more?
No. It would trigger a bunch of most favored nation clauses, and we have to pay everyone a lot more, and we go broke. So, no Sagan for us. It is a shame, since he was such a great thinker, and eloquent, too.
Okay, that seems to be the end. Wow. So these golden, I'm saying golden because the flowers that we saw in the pond that represents the map, the lotus flowers there are golden. These orange colored or yellow colored recorders, they seem to be a more meta commentary of the developers, or the thought that went into selecting the fragments in the cinema, for example, and selecting the fragments in these recordings, the audio logs. Because we've heard a couple of different themes there, like religion, and then putting opposing thoughts, like trying to get science and religion in the same thoughts, like what one viewpoint would be, what another viewpoint would be. Putting those together, also questioning your own beliefs has been a theme, like getting different perspectives, what this game is all about, with the environment puzzles. And then this recording that we just heard seems to suggest how hard it is to find good viewpoints on all of them so that they are all represented equally. Now, I consider myself an atheist. I'm not like outspoken and dismissing people who do have a religion. I've had girlfriends who were religious, very religious even, pray every evening. Main event with family is going to church and having conversations, trying to understand their viewpoints, how they could find peace in believing, like a sort of solace that something is looking over you and people you love. But then, for example, they would pray that the people close to them would find happiness, or that things for them went well. And I can respect that point, that if you make it not all about yourself, it sort of reflects a morality that exists outside of the need of a god, that you can be morally good, that you wish also good upon other people. And that is my own viewpoint as an atheist as well, that I look for morality in things, what are the right things to do, how do I not hurt other people while at the same time not hurting myself. And if I can find that in a religious person as well, then for me that is a valid or a viewpoint that I won't so easily dismiss. It's just that what you think, like that there is something watching over those other people if you wish it upon them, that does exactly for me the same thing as me wishing good things upon other people. Like if I mean them no harm and other people would mean other people no harm, then we would have a moral system that would be based on a positive feedback loop. And if that positive feedback loop is someone religious and you wish good things upon other people and uphold those principles, then I see nothing wrong with believing. Now, there is, of course, a distinction that for me, I have not felt that presence of God or that need for something higher than myself to be able to uphold those moral beliefs. I don't do it for fear of what comes in the afterlife. I do it because I think it's a good way to live, and maybe I am thinking about a legacy after I am dead, to be able to tally up what the good things are that I've done. I live my life pretty sober, actually, not like they were talking here in the recording about materialist atheists. I'm really not materialist at all. I hardly buy fancy new things. I only buy things that I need. I live a sober life, not with a mentality to replace everything in my house every 2 years, get a new phone every year when a new model comes out. I live like a sober life is all I can call it. And yet I am also still an atheist because the more I learned throughout my childhood and adult life about science and physics in particular, always had a fascination for science from even when I was a toddler, all the way through my childhood, puberty, into adult life. I became an engineer. Most of my friends are engineers, or at least very smart people, thinkers, and doers. And upholding those values of finding answers in science has been something that has been a guiding, pushing force throughout my life. For a time, I was not doing very well with my health. Lost a job, lost a girlfriend, lost my house that I was living in at the time, and I was looking for answers. And just out of a curiosity, out of wanting to know, I started studying online courses about astronomy rather, not astrology. To make that very clear, I mean the hard physics of stars and black holes, how the universe evolves, and even then courses on cosmology, quantum physics, like really diving deep into the harder subjects. I'm not saying I'm a physicist because there's so much that I don't know yet, but just out of a curiosity for wanting to know and wanting to understand, which at that point stemmed from me buying a book by Stephen Hawking and Roger Penrose, which was not really a book, but one of their papers that they worked on together, or one of their theories that they had, that they were like discussing among themselves. I bought a book like that at a book fair, and I, even with knowledge about physics as an engineer, I could not understand anything in the book. Like I couldn't even get past the first 10 pages without having half of the words in it be totally unclear and couldn't visualize them in my head, which is how I learn things. And I was so frustrated. It also probably had to do with the fact that it was in English, and English is like my fourth language. That I couldn't understand the technical terms very well. and I went Googling all over the internet for those terms, and every time it kept telling me, oh yeah, you need to do a course in quantum mechanics first to understand that, or astrology, or whatever the hell, cosmology, multiverse theory. And so I put the book down. I took then, I think, the first 2 of those astronomy courses, went back to the book, and then instead of getting 10 pages far, I got 15 pages far. Out of a book that's not very thick, I think maybe 80 pages in total, I only got 15 pages far, and then I had to go back to a cosmology course, quantum mechanics, and I've been on that quest of understanding that book now for just, right now must be about 10 years. But then everything I learned in those courses, like those ideas that were in there, I then used to find another job as a physics teacher, and I tried to use that time to learn more things about physics for myself, while also trying to find good ways to explain it to 16, 17, 18-year-olds in what you would call, I don't know, for Americans, you would call it like high school, college level, something around there. In Belgium, it's still called high school till you're 18. So it's the last 2 years before you go to university. And that level of physics, that was something that also helped me understand things that I didn't understand before, or I could explain them better. So I'm hoping that soon I can go back to the book and maybe I get 20 pages for. We'll see how it goes. But that's how I look at it as a scientist, as a physicist. And the more I learned from those courses, the more you learn about energy of a vacuum, for example, about adding up all the energy that's in the universe. Like you can have positive and negative energy, like in kinetic energy is always positive. Potential energy can be positive or negative. Heat is always a positive energy. And if you add up all those energies, that you can sum up all the energy of the universe and end up with zero. There's a really interesting lecture by Lawrence Strauss that's about that, and he wrote a book about it too. That you can add up all those energies and get zero, and like not just with our universe and one Big Bang, but having a multiverse and then ending up with a total energy of zero from the vacuum of empty space. Things like that took me months to understand. Like one of the courses about cosmology, I think it was lectures with Lawrence Krauss, that I didn't understand the first time I saw them. I saw the lectures, didn't understand, put the last 2 lessons down for 3 months, and then kept thinking about what was in the lectures. After 3 months, suddenly it clicked in my head while I was sleeping or resting. I suddenly had an epiphany, and I understood what he was talking about. And I went back to those lectures, and the second time around, totally understood them. And I had a visualization of how you could have a multiverse and that 0-point energy, how you could fit everything in cosmology together that way. And that's my way of learning, like picking something up, thinking about it, then building on top of that, and building. And for me, that is a way to understand the universe, understanding life, understanding why we are here. And for example, what what if we were not here? Is that theoretically possible? But the fact that we are here to ask the question why we are here means that in the history of the universe and the multiverse, everything has led to this point. And I don't think there needs to be a God to guide that process. Just the fact that you have increasing entropy, for example, the fact that you have the way energy works, the way matter clumps together with the physical constants that you have in nature, those are enough to build life, and you only need one chance to do that right for that life then to evolve through mutation and survival of the fittest, like the theory of Darwin, into a people who can ask the question, why are we here, and to be here. And there doesn't need to be a purpose behind it for me, but just admiring the beauty and admiring as well the complexity that led to us being here, and understanding more and more and more of it. That is what gives me a sense of enormousness, of the vastness of the universe, and how we are just a small speck in space and a small speck in time as well, having evolved in just a couple of 100,000 years, when the universe is billions of years old and multiverse doesn't even have a concept of time. We are just a tiny pinprick in that universe, and I think that beauty in that complexity, that gives me a feeling of awe, of respect for life and respect for how we live, for how I live, is respecting that you are small and that you are at the same time, we are special in our little bubble of the universe. But then my quest is just understanding and creating understanding for other people as well, with writing, with art, with recording videos like this, like sharing my thoughts and just playing a game and sharing that with other people, trying to give a moment of insight, of beauty, of inspiration to other people. That's what I live for, or the guiding principle that I live by. And I think that's enough. I don't need a God to tell me that I'll be punished in the afterlife if I don't do that. No, I just do that because I appreciate the beauty of life. And that's a long rant to say that is how I look at the world as an atheist, through understanding, through inspiration for myself that I try to share with other people. Okay, enough blabbering. I think I've been going on long enough for that. Let's solve these last puzzles. What's going on here? Oh, there's invisible dots. I assume there's one in each corner. So it's kind of a memory game now. Okay, so the diagonal is where the dots are. Then here. Oof. I'm not good at short-term memory though. Ooh, really not good with short-term memory. Okay, so these are the last ones that I need to be visiting. So I think the last path that I make must be this. So I go round and then do this. Okay, so the 4 dots that we see here must be part of our path. Okay, our grid is now stretched. Oof. Okay, so all the dots are on the horizontal lines though. So I wonder if we can just snake through and cover everything. Again, only on horizontal lines. And I think they're in the same spot, only this time it's telling us don't be smart and you cannot cut everything up. Okay, so we have these and this one. So could do something like this. And there was a dot bottom right. Yeah. Oh, click once. Oh, wait, huh? What was my idea? Oh, yeah. Yeah. My idea was to go through this. Not here. And not skip one. There. Then I assume we have a similar story over here. Yeah, dots there guiding us. Okay, that's not too hard. Okay, so trying to mirror that would be those 2 points. And is there one in the middle line? Yes, there is. Okay, so these 3 plus 1, let me try again, here and here. Okay, now we have a point mirrored one. So that's one we have to end at. Let me try. I think I can see all the dots this way. Let's do that again. Ah. Yeah, okay. Great. Now, while I was standing here, I thought there was a recording up there, but it's just the light from a different angle. So we did find our recording in there. Hidden very well. And it looks like that's all that we have here. No recordings on these rocks or something. And this little nook has me a bit puzzled. But I think I'll end the episode here. It's been a long episode, a lot of talking about atheism for me. And we'll head into this part of the cave in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in that next episode.